Hey ho, StarWC here, and today I'm doing a video on a Transformers Age of the Primes 4-pack, including Deluxe, Toy Ultra Magnus, Bumble Jumper, and Horri-bull and Voyager Animated Nemesis Prime. So here they are in their alternate modes. Ultra Magnus is a repaint of Legacy United Toy Optimus Prime. So he is just a white Optimus, and unfortunately he doesn't have his trailer that would form armor in robot mode. This is supposed to be a recreation of his original toy rather than the animation model, so it's got a silver bumper rather than a red one. There's also some silver paint on the grille, the headlights, these stripes on the side, and these tanks. It helps to break up the white. He's got an Autobot insignia here on the side. Unfortunately, there is a pinhole running right through it. His windows are dark grey, and I think there might be a slight tint of red in there. Something that's very nice to see is that he's actually got rubber tires, so he rolls really well. These gaps at the front are a little bit unsightly. I don't really get why they just left them. Feels a little incomplete if you ask me. He's got 5mm ports on the bed, including the trailer hitch, and one on the back of the cab. There's some specific moulding around the trailer hitch to allow his axe to plug into it, and his guns can plug into any of the other ports. Bumble Jumper, or Bumper for short, is a partial of 86 Bumblebee. If you're unaware of who Bumper is, I don't blame you. To make a long story short, before Transformers was Transformers, there were three very similar figures based on penny racers: a Volkswagen, a Porsche, and a sedan. The Volkswagen and Porsche were made into Bumblebee and Cliffjumper respectively, but there was no intent to release the sedan under the Transformers brand. But for whatever reason, it did end up getting released in yellow in Cliffjumper packaging, and fans gave him the name Bumble Jumper. And this is actually his first official toy. And unfortunately, nothing in the alt mode has been changed. Really, the front should have been resculpted to make it look more like a sedan, but fortunately the roof was already flat rather than round for Bumblebee, so it's kind of a mix of a Volkswagen and a sedan. He's a nice bright yellow with a few black highlights, like the windows and the bumpers. Yeah, bumper. He's got red taillights and black headlights. Doesn't seem like the best idea. His wheels have silver rims, and he's got an Autobot insignia on the roof. These sections next to the windows are painted yellow, and it's actually color matched pretty well considering yellow is very difficult to paint. His wheels are pinned, so he rolls really well. There's some weapon storage on the back, though it would have been nice if his gun had an actual place to store in that gap underneath. Animated Nemesis Prime is a partial of Legacy United Animated Optimus. This is based on a piece of artwork from the Allspark Almanac, which itself was based on a black repaint of Optimus from the animated toy line that was just a black Optimus rather than a Nemesis Prime. But that was based on previous Nemesis Prime color schemes, bringing it full circle. And I think these colors work really well on this model. But it seems that the teal might not be coming through super well on camera, which is a shame because I think it really makes this color scheme. That being said, the red and teal gel wonderfully with the black, as always with Nemesis. But there's also this splash of grey at the front, which helps to break up the black. He's also got some lovely silver rims. The bed on this mold is a little messy. His feet just sticking out here is kind of weird, and I think the teal on the crotch poking through is a little distracting. He's got a few 5mm ports, two on the side of the cab, one in the middle of each back wheel, one on top the light bar, and if you remove it, it reveals another three, and two in the bed, along with these small square ports that aren't for anything. Maybe a planned trailer? His axe does have a few 5mm pegs, and the intended storage is plugging the one on the head into the bed. I've seen better weapon storage. Horri-bull is a heavy partial of Titan's Return Skullcruncher, to the point where almost everything is new, which makes sense since they're turning a crocodile into a bull. He's more of a realistic bull than compared to his original toy. That one was more inspired by the Terror Dogs from Ghostbusters. He's mostly this bland grey with blue, with pops of bright pink, like the toes and horns. But for some reason, the horns came on a sprue, which normally wouldn't be a problem. But since they're painted, when you pull them off the sprue, they leave a mark right dead center. So it tends to be the first thing you look at when you look at his face. It's a very weird choice. His eyes are painted red, but only his upper teeth were painted silver. You gotta cut corners somewhere, but come on. Either paint all of them or none of them. He's got a Decepticon symbol on his neck, but it's a little difficult to see. His horns and head are on 5mm ports. For some reason, this figure is weird. He does have some weapon storage. Just plug it in right underneath there. For articulation, he's got a swivel at the head, an opening mouth, and upwards at the neck, swiveling horns. Front legs can go all the way around and this far out. Bicep swivel, elbow bend, below the elbow swivel, upwards at the toes. Back legs are almost able to go all the way around, and a knee bend. Like most beast modes, it's lacking in the posing department. If you open up his back, you'll see his headmaster partner, Kreb. This is the same headmaster mold we've been getting for almost a decade. He's obviously got a huge face on his back, but his own face is also painted. It is just a gold face with no other details, but I do really appreciate that they're painting their faces now. Makes them look so much more alive. For articulation, there's a ball joint at the head. Arms can go this far up and this far out. Conjoined legs can go this far forward and this far back. And there's a conjoined knee bend. You can barely pose this, but what do you expect from a figure this size? For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another deluxe truck, Kingdom Huffer, another deluxe car, Age of the Prime's Alchemist Prime, another Voyager truck, Netflix Nemesis Prime, another deluxe quadruped, Age of the Prime's Carnivac, the other 1988 Decepticon Headmasters, Kingdom Deluxe Fangry, and Legacy United Deluxe Squeezeplay, their mold mates, Legacy United Deluxe Toy Optimus Prime, 86 Deluxe Bumblebee, Legacy United Voyager Animated Optimus Prime, plus the DNA Design Upgrade Kit, and Retro Headmaster's Skullcruncher, 86 Commander Ultra Magnus, Kingdom Leader Ultra Magnus, without the trailer, a Lego minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. For transformation, for Ultra Magnus, take these side pieces and just sort of move them out on this hinge. Flip this piece up and move the wheels out to the side. That will allow you to move this entire back section down. Move that back down. Split the legs, flip out the feet, fold open the forearms and spin this piece around, close it back up. This piece can actually be incredibly tight the first few times, but eventually it softens up. Open up the back and flip out the head. I'm worried that the paint on the mouth plate will chip, since you kind of need to grab it from there in order to pull it out. For bumper, start by detaching this front section and just pulling it down, and then swinging these around. It will detach the front sometimes as well. This little panel will flip out, and so will this one. Then just fold this in and they will attach together. Then you want to come to the back and just pull it out. Detach the arms and move them out to the side. Swing them round, move them back in. Straighten out the arms, open up the chest, flip up the head, close up the chest, straighten out this hinge, and this whole piece will move back into place. For Nemesis Prime, start by taking the back section and just pulling it down. You can swivel it around, flip up the feet, and fold these entire side sections down. Detach it, that will allow you to fold them down, and then collapse it up. Then you can flatten out the foot. Then you come to the top and just move this section down. Take the top and move it back. These side sections will move in slightly. That will allow you to move the wheel section up. And then you could take this whole section and move it down. The wheel will tab into the abdomen there. Then you could take the windows and it will just collapse into the chest. And the same for the back. Swing these side sections around and then open them up. Then you can open up the forearms to flip out the hands. For Horri-bull, start by just detaching the tail. Then these side sections will detach, which will allow you to fold the entire thing around. Split it in half. You need to clip these knees into place. These panels will fold in, and then you collapse up the legs. Fold the front legs down, twist this section around, flip up the toes, and flip out the hands. Then you can fold back the bull head, flipping up the horns. Then you take Kreb, fold up his legs, turn him upside down, and plug him into the body. And here they all are in their robot modes. Ultra Magnus really is just Optimus but in white with a handful of silver details, though this mode does introduce some light blue on the face, as well as the red eyes. It's very reminiscent of the original toy. Obviously, it's not as one-to-one as the missing link was. That was what if the original toy had more articulation, whereas this is more along the lines of what if the original toy was made today. He's got a few 5mm ports, one on his back, one on the back of each leg, and one on the bottom of each foot. And his smokestacks are attached via a 5mm port. For some reason, I suppose you can use them as guns, but considering he already comes with 2 guns, I don't see why you would. One of them is the gun the original Optimus toy had, and I don't actually know what the other one is supposed to be. I assume some version of the original Optimus toy came with it. They're painted white rather than casted in white, so it can be a bit of a pain to get them in his hands. I assume it's probably because they're casted in translucent plastic, because for some reason this figure has 4 different translucent plastic colours. But those aren't his only accessories, because he also comes with this axe. It's blue, which fits his colour scheme really well, but he only has it because the original Optimus had it. The same can be said for the Matrix he has in his chest. Strangely enough, this one is painted, whereas the one that came with Optimus wasn't. He can't hold it, unfortunately. I also think it's kind of weird that they decided to give this mold its own Matrix. We already have a perfectly good one, and it's not like the original Optimus toy came with a Matrix for this to be inspired by. It's just weird. Bumper basically just looks exactly like Bumblebee, with a slightly lighter yellow and a darker black. Or I suppose he's black and Bumblebee's grey. I do wish they could have made the entire arm black to make it more accurate to the original toy and help distinguish him from Bumblebee. Obviously the feet being different would have also helped with that, but that's a dead horse at this point. Kind of a shame they didn't paint the faux window at the top of his chest like they did with Bumblebee. I kind of love the Ultimate symbol with the silver outline. Not really sure why, it just tickles a certain part of my brain. His head is a wonderful reinterpretation of his original toy, though I will say he kind of looks like someone who would unironically mew. Still got the same tiny gun as Bumblebee, that is 3mm compatible, and can store on his back. For some reason, I feel like he should be packing a much larger gun. Nemesis Prime looks gorgeous. I cannot get over how good this colour scheme looks. I already liked this mould, but in these colours, it just comes alive. Though I'm not sure if it's actually coming through on camera, which is a massive shame if true. The specific shade of teal they chose just goes so hard with the black and red. I love the masked head. It gives him such a menacing aura. The red patches on the hands, paired with the red windows now on the side of the arms, is a really cool detail. I feel like his legs could have done with some more paint. As is, they only have one red square on each foot. All the grey gets sucked into the torso, to the point where it almost disappears. I love the huge Decepticon logo. I know some people would have preferred an Autobot symbol, since that's what the OG toy had, but he was a Decepticon in the Allspark Almanac. Personally, I prefer factionless Nemesis anyway. He's got a few 5mm ports, 2 on each arm, 2 on the side of each leg, 1 on the inside of each leg, 1 on the bottom of each foot, 1 on the light bar, which of course if you remove, shows another 3. He comes with his axe. It's got a few 5mm pegs, so you can store it on his back, or really anywhere else. But I always think he looks better by just holding it with the handle. It does have a very large body, and that's because it's holding an extending handle. You can slide the whole thing into his hand, but it's a bit of a tight squeeze. But once you get it in, it looks fantastic. The translucent red blade is just so nice. I can't help but think that the axe fits Nemesis much more than it did Optimus. Horri-bull looks kinda dopey, but also kinda cool at the same time. It's paradoxical and I can't really explain it, but he just gives off those vibes. As accurate as it is, the grey is boring, and the blue doesn't do much to help. But the pink does just enough to make him stand out, even if those blemishes on the horns are still super visible in this mode. Gotta love how they included the speed, strength, and intelligence stats on his chest. They're obviously not spring-loaded like the original toy, but it's a nice detail. It's that extra pop of colour that he really needed. I do wish the bull head could fold further down onto the back, but I suppose the horns wouldn't stick as far up if that were the case. So it's a worthy sacrifice. He's got 2 guns, this relatively normal one, which is a holdover from Skullcruncher, and his tail. They seem kinda small, and unfortunately can't store anywhere. For articulation, Magnus has a ball joint at the head, his arms can go all the way around and this far out, elbow bend, bicep swivel, waist swivel, legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out, thigh swivel, knee bend, ankle pivot, foot down, and a foot swivel for some reason. Like it's not used for transformation, and figures never have foot swivels. So maybe they're planning something? Armor maybe? Probably not. Bumper has a ball joint at the head, arms can go all the way around and this far out, elbow bend, bicep swivel, wrist swivel, waist swivel, legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out, thigh swivel, knee bend, downwards at the foot, and due to his massive feet, his ankle tilt is very high up. Nemesis has a ball joint at the head and a hinge, arms can go all the way around and this far out, double elbow bend, bicep swivel, wrist swivel. If you open up his arms, turn his fists, and then move them in, you can fake sword wielding wrists. Kinda, sorta. Waist swivel, legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out. Thigh swivel, knee bend, ankle tilt, downwards at the foot, and some upwards at the foot. Horri-bull has a ball joint at the head, arms can go all the way around, and this far out. Elbow bend, bicep swivel, below the elbow swivel, which can kinda be used as a wrist swivel, inwards at the wrist. Waist swivel, legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out. Thigh swivel, knee bend. If you detach the knee, you can get it to go a bit further, but it does break it up a bit. And surprisingly, for it being a Titan's Return retool, an ankle pivot. They're all pretty average when it comes to posing, which is kind of surprising in Horri-bull's case, since he's a partial of an 8-year-old figure. And I just have so much fun posing Nemesis, but I think that's just because of his colour scheme. For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another deluxe truck, Kingdom Huffer, another deluxe car, Age of the Prime's Alchemist Prime, another Voyager truck, Netflix Nemesis Prime, another deluxe quadruped, Age of the Prime's Carnivac, the other 1988 Decepticon Headmasters, Kingdom Deluxe Fangry, and Legacy United Deluxe Squeezeplay, their mold mates, Legacy United Deluxe Toy Optimus Prime, 86 Deluxe Bumblebee, Legacy United Voyager Animated Optimus Prime, plus the DNA Design Upgrade Kit, and Retro Headmasters Skullcruncher, 86 Commander Ultra Magnus, Kingdom Leader Ultra Magnus, without the trailer, a LEGO minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. Magnus is definitely tiny, but he's not really supposed to scale with anything else. Optimus was just kind of his own thing, and Magnus is a byproduct of that. Ultimately, this is a terrific multi-pack. Kinda weird, given all the figures don't really have anything to do with each other, but each figure is great in their own right. Even if I probably wouldn't have picked up Magnus, since he doesn't really have a place in my collection. But on the other hand, I also might have skipped Nemesis, and I ended up loving him, so I guess it was worth it. But let's see what other people think. Oh, I ought to have mine next week. Bumper gets this one chance to wow me. Magnus is a want, and I think DNA or another 3P company will make a full trailer armor for him right now. Horri-bull is a genius retool concept. Hoping for that solo Fangry so we can get all 3 Decepticon Headmaster Juniors without breaking the bank. Nemesis is just looking like Chef's Kiss. I wonder how DNA will alter their upgrade kit for this mold with him. I only want the Magnus. Boring, LeMayo. Don't have the mold. Besides, blue and white goes hard. It's an awesome pack of awesome redecos. I wonder if they'll make Magnus a separate trailer to combine in the future. Nemesis Prime looks so beautiful. They'd probably look awesome with the DNA Motormaster kit. Bullhorn fella looks alright. I do hate that they used painted sprues that kinda killed it for me. And last but not least, Bumper. I mean, he finally has his own figure, but I hoped they'd remold his vehicle mode to look more like the G1 toy. That Magnus looks butt ugly. Bumper looks like he reads for fun. The Nemesis is a deliciously delightful redeco of an already fantastic mold. The Ultra Magnus can be paired really well alongside the 86 Magnus if you want to pretend the Innerbot gimmick. Nemesis is the only remotely good one. Horri-bull is a crime against humanity. Magnus is a bland mold. Bumper is the laziest retool of all time. I think Magnus looks okay. Nemesis is the third use of that mold, and while looking good, I think it's kinda annoying we're getting so many repaints of it. Horri-bull, having his horns on a blue sprue, is really dumb, and Bumper is awful. They just put a new head on all the 86 Bumblebees that couldn't sell, and put some black paint on it and called it a day. Horri-bull is the least horrible figure there. I hope they release a trailer for Magnus soon. Bumper should have gotten retooled feet. Nemesis is repainted from a good mold that fails to capture Animated Prime's charm, but at least have good decos. And Horri-bull is a Titans Return Deluxe shoved into here. He ain't bad though. Most Titans Return Deluxes are good anyway. Nemesis, I don't like him. They messed up the deco. Bumper, they messed up the deco. Horri-bull, damn. Magnus, they messed up the deco. Bruh, I think they messed up the deco. It's okay. Bumper needed more retooling in his lower legs for a more accurate vehicle mode. Horri-bull's horns should have not been on a sprue, and Magnus needed to be made of better materials. Reworked tabs on the legs, and no paint on his blasters. Ultra Magnus is missing potential for a leader class Magnus with armor. Terrible is a good use of a bad mold. Head swap Bumper and Bumble Jumper so you have a pretender Bumblebee and a Bumper done properly. Nemesis deco is amazing and overhated. I really like how Magnus looks. Bumper is cooler than 86B. Horri-bull I don't care for. Nemesis is Magnus is interesting. They completely sold on Bumper. Nemesis Prime looks cool, and Horri-bull would be good if it wasn't for the horns. I want to buy that because of how good Nemesis Prime and Ultra Magnus are. Bumper is good, even though I would have preferred if they retooled the front legs to not look like a Volkswagen. Slop. Except Magnus, he's goated. Legitimately the best of all value packs so far. Character selection is primo. Vibes are immaculate. Molds are all really good. Bumper is by far the weakest toy-wise. I was really hoping that they might have been able to squeeze in a remold, considering Chase and Cliff Jumper previously, but I still like 86 Bumblebee enough to ignore it. However, considering this is his first official toy already brings him up quite a bit. So while he's definitely not the best, he manages to be my second favourite. In a similar light, I think Ultra Magnus is the best toy-wise, but also my least favourite. through no fault of his own. I just don't like the white Optimus design. That said, he still has the classic Optimus Prime transformation and has some pretty good articulation. He's great, but not my style. Nemesis is basically just Motormaster, and Motormaster is already a 10 for me. I'd say it's a bit worse than Motormaster for me, since Nemesis is just not one of my faves. Motormaster's got personality, he's got a handlebar mustache, and his overall character is just way more appealing. However, the blue highlights in Nemesis are way more appealing than Motormaster's straight purple. Unfortunately, he is only my third favourite, because of Horri-bull. I just absolutely love him. I have exactly one gripe, and that's the fact his horns are on sprues. But other than that, he's a vibe. Everything about him, his head mold, his awful squat bull mode, to even his accessories is great. The colour choice is excellent. The fact that he completes a set of niche characters. The speed, strength, intelligence. I just love him. I can only hope that one day they give us the yellow version. But overall, this is my favourite of the buzzworthy value packs. I just really hope that in the future, they can continue this series to give us more of these niche characters. Maybe a good direction for the series to go would be combine limb replacements. Seems like this is the kind of way they'd release Alpha Bravo. Obviously, I hope they don't, but Hasbro does know that we want him. Anyways, loved this outing, and I'm hoping for more to come. Make sure to tell me what you think down in the comments. But that's about it for this video, so I guess that's Salut BC out. Next time is Thor Odin's son.